Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I wanted to talk about a few things. First off, I wanted to talk about technology. I look at technology as a double-edged sword. Technology and improvement has been with us since the dawn of man. Cavemen learned how to make fire. It was a great advancement. It was a big change. And as time went on through the various millennia, we learned new things. We learned how to write. We learned how to cook. We learned how to paint. We learned how to build and to advance ourselves. And that's all well and good. And society and technology as a whole remain somewhat constant for the next number of thousands of years. Small advances here and there. It wasn't until we get into the beginnings of the 19th century that the entire world starts to change. Now, of course, we have steam ships. By 1844, we have the telegraph. By 1879, we have the incandescent light. 77, we have the phonograph. We have so many various devices to help us, sewing machines and the like. These are all great. These are all helpful on what we had to do. But now let's look at technology today. Today's technology is completely and is 180 degrees away from what once was. You see, in many respects, the technology of the past assisted us in what we did. Now it seems that technology is looked to replace us completely in many actions. Now it's very, very good to use this instrument between the ears. It's always good to use it. But think about this. Think about cell phones. Now I have to tell you, how many of us have a whole bunch of phone numbers in our head? Not many of us at all. I remember maybe 4 or 5. I don't need to. It's on the phone. That's not a good thing. I remember years ago you had all the various phone numbers in your head, and you knew I had to call Harry, I had to do this, blah, 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 blah. I still remember my phone number from when I was a kid. It's still in my head. But the thing is, also, another thing is this. Computers, the internet, applications now that do so many different things for us so we don't have to do anything at all. I hate to say this, but we are regressing in many respects. Technologically, we're moving very fast. And we are adding much to our understandings and knowledge. But we are also becoming far more ignorant. We don't know things. In fact, we don't have to know things. We just need to know where to find them. That's where it comes with the internet. Students are not really learning lots of stuff. They're reading lots of stuff and learning real quick and then forgetting it because they don't have to. It exists. We've stopped writing. We stopped keeping journals. You know, in history, how did you learn about people? You read their diaries. You read their private correspondence. And that's great. I can learn lots of things about the 17th century, the 18th century, the 19th century, and much of the 20th century. But today, since the advent of the internet and computers, people aren't writing anymore. And everything is on blogs. Everything is on the internet. We have Twitter accounts. We have Facebook and all this other stuff. But my question is, where will this stuff be 100, 150 years from now? Will it still exist? Will it go into the big trash heap in the sky? I don't know. I mean, very good chance a lot of this information is going to be lost. Who wants it? There's too much of it. Therefore, when historians are working about this era, and maybe the eras that follow, they might, instead of calling this the information age, they might call it the lack of information age. Because yes, we have all kinds of information at our fingertips, but we don't preserve the information because it is readily accessible. And what about our histories? What about our lives? What about the people we deal with? It's very important to think of. So think of all the various technologies that exist today, and think of what we did as people 100 years ago, and think of all the things that we have replaced with computers, machines, innovation of all kinds. It's a very different world, but it makes one think and worry, because sometimes we can have lots of information. Sometimes we can have lots of various apps and computer systems at our fingertips. But also, because of how we're doing things and not using our brain like we once did, we're becoming more ignorant and more clueless in some ways. So remember, this is very important stuff. Always use the mind. Always write. Keep a journal. I've been doing it for many, many years. I'm up to my 39th volume. But just remember all about technology. Technology is a wonderful thing, but it's also a damaging thing too, because it somewhat takes away our natural ability to think, because we stop doing it, because the machines, the devices are thinking for us. Thank you.